This time on the My Adventure channel, we're going to take a look at this 2019 Ford Ranger that's kind of turned into an Overlander, and it's a daily driver also. This is a really cool build that pretty much anybody can do, and it's really simple. Stick around, this is going to be a good time. I think you guys are going to like it. Like I said in the beginning, this is a 2019 Ford Ranger. This is your wife's, right, Brian?
Yep, this truck belongs to my wife, Lisa. I am just bringing her vision to fruition, but it's all her, and it's her daily driver, so.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I like the color on it too. Now, you have your own YouTube channel also, right?
I do. Well, yeah, me and Lisa both. We have a YouTube channel called Random Adventures, and where we show recently overlanding and the build process for this truck, although a lot of it you can't see right now. But we have Bronco 2 that we do a lot of rock crawling with. I do a lot of stuff with, I have a Thunderbird that I'm coyote swapping for doing some drag racing with that.
He's got some cool stuff on his channel.
Yeah, that's why it's random, because I'm all over the place with, it's got 4 wheels. I'm into it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be just off-roading.
Right. He's got a lot of cool stuff. Even with he's got the V8 swap on the Bronco 2.
Yep, 342 stroker.
And he's got pretty much all of that documented, if I'm not mistaken, for the most part.
Yeah,
it's all on his channel.
200 videos on the channel of everything.
Yeah.
So
go take a look. I will leave a description down below. So what this, like you said, this is your wife's, but just kind of go over what it is, you know, and just a little bit of stuff that you've done with it, because you know you've done a little bit of work to it.
Well, this is it's a 2019 Ranger XLT FX4. This was the first year that Ford brought back the Ranger after a long hiatus. This is pretty much was top of the line for the first year. It has a lot of extra technology the previous Rangers probably dreamed they could have had.
Yeah.
It's a 1 year only. It was a special option color that you actually had to pay extra for. It's hot pepper red, it's called.
It's a cool red.
It is a really unique red.
It changes color. Yeah, in the light. It's cool.
It's very cool. But yeah, we picked it up used, a few months old, had real low mileage on it. Fell in love with it. I didn't think I was going to like the truck.
No.
Because I have a Super Duty and I drive big things and fast things. This thing has completely won me over.
Yeah.
I love this truck, probably as much as she does. Only powertrain option is a 2.3 EcoBoost, single turbo, 10-speed automatic trans. That trans.
It's got a 10-speed too.
10-speed trans, and this is phenomenal.
That's cool.
They work so good. And the cool thing about them is we've upgraded to, these are basically 32-inch BFGs. There are guys that are running as much as 35-inch tires on these, and you don't even have to re-gear them because
of the 10-speed?
Because of the gear spacing between the the first 5 gears is so tight.
Yeah.
That they don't even care, and the thing has like 310 foot-pounds of torque, so it doesn't care.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that doesn't even have a tune or anything on it.
No, motor's bone stock. Only modifications I've done to the truck is we did a 2-inch level, just a metal spacer in the front. The upgraded BFG all-terrains 32-inch. Bilstein or Bilstein.
Yeah, whatever. Germans.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. Shocks on it. We added the aftermarket mud flaps. It's got a boom and stereo system in it too.
Nice.
I'm very proud of. I did all that.
He's got all this stuff documented also on his channel.
Yeah.
So like I said, if you want to see this thing being built and everything, go check it out. It's good stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, this thing it's really cool. And he said it's got I'm finding out a lot about this stuff too. But you said it's got an e-locker in the rear on this thing too?
Yeah, Ford, I tell you, Ford really did their homework on these trucks. Has a factory e-locker. You could get them on, it didn't matter, even the low-level XL 2-wheel drive Rangers, you could opt for an e-locker in the rear axle.
That's nice.
There's no...
So it's no special package, you have to buy this package to do that?
And the vast majority of them came with the e-locker in them, so
that's nice.
It works any gear, 4 high, 4 low, as long as you're below 25 mile an hour. That's the
press a button.
you press a button on the center console to turn it on, and as long as you're below 25 mile an hour, the locker stays on. As soon as you pass 25, it automatically turns itself off.
That's nice.
And as soon as you slow back down below 25, it automatically turns itself back on.
So you only have to hit the button once.
Yeah.
Nice.
And if you don't want, you definitely don't want to be using it on pavement.
Right. Yeah.
I
Of
mean,
course.
it'll skip the inside tires, so
Right.
you just turn it off. But it has all the like the new Bronco. They call it the GOAT modes.
Right.
This truck had the GOAT modes before the Bronco. They just call them trail modes.
Right.
It's got the separate settings for sand, mud, ruts.
It's got all that.
It's got all of that. It's got crawl. Well, they call it trail control, but
It's crawl control.
crawl control for
Right.
you Toyota and Jeep people, I guess. I literally just the last trip got to play with that for the first time. I was completely blown away by it.
It works good?
I was looking for excuses to use it. It was just so cool.
That's awesome.
Because it doesn't, unlike a Bronco, the new Broncos we're talking about, this does not have a front locker. It doesn't. You can get a 21 Tremor Ranger now
Right.
that has a factory traction lock in the front,
Right.
but prior to the Tremor coming out, these all had open diffs.
Nice.
And I was a little skeptical off-roading with an open diff, but when you use that trail control, the way it modulates the ABS
Yeah.
and the front axle, this
Oh
thing,
yeah. So it just.
when,
I get it.
when one tire starts spinning, whatever, it clamps the brake,
Uses the other one.
and it just, we walked up some sandy, very soft, deep, sandy hills up north, and you can set it from 0 to 5 mile an hour just by using the cruise control buttons. And you just drive it with that, keep your foot off the pedals, and it just motors up. You can even hear the turbo spooling up as it's feeding it more power.
That's cool.
It works great. I was completely blown away. I know, actually, matter of fact, I have a friend last weekend took his same truck to Silver Lake Sand Dunes.
Yeah.
And he was playing with his on the actual dune hills, and he was blown away also. And he just has the stock tires, which I think are garbage.
Right. Yeah. They usually are.
They're
usually
street
tires.
Yep. So it's a pretty cool feature.
So. Now you said you went camping. What, 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes,
2 weeks ago. You guys went up north, and so you've got a rooftop tent. Just kind of want to explain what the tent is, how you liked it, if you didn't like it, how it worked.
Yeah.
It's not on the truck right now, but I'm gonna roll in some pictures, and yeah, we'll show you some pictures.
So we had the tonneau cover on the truck from day one, pretty much.
Right.
We always wanted to have covered storage in the bed of the truck. When Lisa and I decided we were going to try to do some overlanding.
I just call it camping.
Yeah, camping. Camping with the truck.
Right.
We were going to use this truck for that, because actually we do have another Bronco that we were building for Lisa to kind of do the same kind of wheeling, but I think she's kind of fell in love with this truck more, so I think we're going to focus more on this truck. But I was looking, we knew we wanted a rooftop tent, and all the rack systems I found, you couldn't retain a tonneau cover unless it was the kind that went inside, like the hard
Right.
ones. And we already had this. It's brand new, so I didn't want to have to buy a whole new style of tonneau cover. Well, doing some looking, thank you Trail Recon, I saw in one of Brad's videos, he was at the Overlanding Expo.
Yeah, the Expo West or whatever it was.
And there was a blue Ford Ranger there that had a nice mid-level
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
rack. And that was the other thing. Lisa didn't want something that was super top heavy, something that was going to catch the wind and make a bunch of noise. So we were looking for a low rack system for this. And in that video, the Trail Recon, we saw that Ranger that had this rack system on it.
Right.
And he had the same tonneau cover on it too.
Right.
And the company is called 589 Fab.
Okay. Yeah.
When I did some looking into them online, I discovered, lo and behold, 589 Fab is literally based 1 hour north from here.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that.
He's in Michigan. He specializes in Rangers and Colorados.
The mid-size, or the little
the Chevy's version of this.
Right. Yeah.
He has one of each. So he built this rack system that actually works. The tonneau cover clamps down right over top of this, and then there's well, I'm sure you'll show.
I'll show the video. Yeah.
Yeah, the plate, and then the crossbars and everything. And his price was better than any other rack system I've seen out there. And I like that we can leave this part on and we can take the rest of it off. And I had plans, I still may or may not build an overlanding trailer to use with our other vehicles. And I can use the rest of the rack system. It's mobile.
Modular sensor.
Yeah, I can move it to a trailer. I can move it to my Super Duty tow rig if we want.
Yeah.
And we can bring all of our camping setup.
Yeah, because it's two separate pieces, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that works great.
He sold me extra bed rail pieces here, so I can transfer these to a trailer or to my Super Duty, and we can overland.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, we have options. We have lots of options.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But
yeah, and the whole thing only sticks up this high with the tent. It's about level with the roof.
Yeah,
I think,
with the tent, it's just barely over the cab.
Yeah.
Barely. But as far as the tent goes, being that this is our first time getting into this, you know, we're not trying to be all trendy and everything, but it was just something we wanted to try. And we found a member in our club, the Glass City Crawlers, had a buddy that he does a lot of overlanding with.
Right.
That was they were selling theirs. It was just a basic kind of a starter, Smitty built standard rooftop tent. They call it a 3-person. I don't know who these 3 people are.
They're never right on those. Tents are the same way.
I could see maybe me, her, and if I ate somebody, it'd be 3 people. But
right, yeah.
2 people is very comfortable. They were selling it, upgrading to a larger, better one. And we bought it for a heck of a deal. We got
because rooftop tents they're not cheap.
No, I mean when we first started looking into it, I mean we were seeing $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 tents, and I'm like, I really don't know if I want to go camping in a truck that bad. But when the opportunity came up to buy a used one for a really good price,
and sometimes you just can't turn that down.
No, I mean, and I could easily sell it for probably exactly what I paid for it. Honestly.
Probably.
So we figured, you know, there's very little risk in it. If it turns out we absolutely hated the tent, the camping in a tent like that or whatever. I mean, I'm obviously not a small guy. Ladders might not be a good idea, but
it all worked out.
It all worked out.
Yeah, good.
I like it a lot.
Good.
The trip that we just did, we drove 253 miles from the east coast of Michigan to the west coast of Michigan.
That was just in mileage. From there to there was
253 miles.
Wow.
To go coast to coast. 80 to 85% of it was all dirt.
That's great.
2 tracks. We're talking trails that we literally had to get out and clear trees and branches out of the way.
Right.
Nobody had been down. So, yeah, we put a lot of miles on it with the tent, with all the gear in there. The truck did great. Probably, I figure 800 pounds of gear that we carried. We brought way too much. It was our first trip, and I was worried about not having enough of something, apparently, but
yeah,
that's something we definitely got to fine tune.
Well, I mean, as you go and as time goes on, and each trip you learn something.
Yes.
And so you're always
each day
Overpackers Anonymous right here too. So yeah, I mean, it happens, but the main thing is you're getting out there.
Yes. And I learned, and we both learned so much. I've lived in Michigan my whole life, and I never knew a thing existed like a state forest park.
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an eye-opening thing to me, knowing that any weekend we could just throw the tent, throw the gear in this, and go. Just head north, and you don't need a reservation. You don't need a call ahead.
No.
But I was blown. I mean, it was literally a $30 weekend to camp. And we stayed at 3 different. Every night we moved to a different location. You know, obviously, we were traveling across the state. So
was it all campgrounds or?
The very first night
did you guys, do the dispersed camping too? Just out in the woods.
No, the first night we stayed actually at a state park in Tawas, Michigan.
Yeah, okay.
That was kind of our kickoff point.
Right.
And then from there, we made it to about middle of the state. We found a state forest park.
Nice.
And it was a holiday weekend, and it was deserted.
Wow.
We were literally the only people there.
Wow.
And then we drove another day's worth of trek of the west coast of Lake Michigan, and we found another. And actually, we took a couple. We cut off, and we found a couple other state forest parks that we just kind of checked out.
Yeah, you might as well.
Yeah, just for other options in the future or whatever. So I had no idea these existed, but you could literally just go camping on a whim in the state of Michigan.
So why don't you go ahead and go through some of the stuff? You got a little bit of a rack system in the back here, kind of, and some power points and stuff like that. You want to kind of get into that a little bit?
Yeah, so when we decided that we were going to use this truck for some overlanding, luckily we had a truck right out of the box that is very well capable and already has a lot of cool technology and options already built into it. Like I said, we added the tonneau cover, we have the rack system to hold the tent. I think you can see in the picture we're able to mount a roto pack for extra fuel that we brought with us. I also mounted my power tank, so we did air down the tires when we were off-roading on some of the 2 tracks just to make the ride a little more comfortable. Right. And the sand did get pretty soft in some places, so we had the ability to air up and air down the tires too to make it off-road even better. And then everything else was just as far as being able to pack everything that we needed. So to keep it really simple, I put in this floor kind of track system here with these hold downs, and what we're able to do is we packed in 2 complete totes, one full of just camping gear, the other full of our food, dry goods, cooking supplies, our Blackstone grill. And then right here I strapped down, we bought an Iceco 32 liter 12 volt refrigerator. My first one, that's a game changer. Absolutely love that.
Ice cream on the trail if you want.
Ice cream on the trail, man. We brought steaks, chicken fajitas, we brought all kinds of stuff, man. And it's crazy how much it doesn't, you look like you're losing space because the compressor side of the fridge takes up so much room, but when you factor in, you don't have to carry any ice in it. All you have is just space for food. It was amazing how much more we packed way more food than we needed for 4 days. It was crazy.
Which is nice with one of the refrigerators because you can bring stuff in frozen.
Yep.
And you can take it back.
Yeah, we packed our steaks frozen on Friday morning, and Monday when we ate them, they need to be thawed out a little bit more actually. Yep. So, but yeah, we did our own roll-on Herculiner to protect everything inside here. And then if you look on this side of the truck, we added a fire extinguisher. We always carry first aid kit, tire repair kits, emergency valve stem kits. I'm a big believer in being prepared for stuff like that. Around here. And then to power not only the rooftop tent, but also the refrigerator, I added this little power point here where we can plug in the fridge. We have USB plugs because the Smitty-built tent has a USB plug style LED light inside of it. So we can plug that in, run it up to our tent. We have a power for our lights. And the really cool thing about that is the truck was already pre-wired from the body control module to have a 12 volt power source back here on the frame rail right behind like the mud flap. So all I had to do was run those wires up to that panel. I did drill some holes in the bed to mount them. And the cool thing about it is it stays, obviously I have an on-off switch, but once I leave it on, if the truck is running, we have 12 volt power going to our refrigerator. When we turn the truck off, that circuit will stay active for an hour and a half after the last time the key has been turned off. So if we're driving the trail and we stop for lunch, turn the truck off, and we have a good hour and a half to have lunch, the refrigerator never turns off. It'll stay powered off this. And the refrigerator not only has battery protection, I think below 10.8 volts, I believe.
You could probably adjust it down to like 9 something too.
Yeah, it has 3 settings. I want to say ours is set at 10.8 volts, and then the refrigerator will shut off to protect the battery.
Yep.
But Ford does that as well in the body control module below. I don't know what that voltage limit is, but I couldn't kill the truck's battery by having something plugged into that.
Which is kind of nice.
It's very nice, not having to worry about it.
Yeah.
But we have a Blue Eddy 300 watt lithium battery pack that we brought with us to run the refrigerator from once we get to camp through the evening, through the next day, whatever, and that thing worked great.
Another game changer.
Came with high recommendations from Dan on his videos, about the refrigerators and the battery packs and all that stuff.
They're game changers, man.
They are. I'm glad you gave me the information that you had about them. I probably would have bought the completely wrong thing and would have been very upset. But that thing worked great. It was a game changer. So
for the price point of that, you can't beat it.
Oh, and I got it on sale too.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, this truck out of the box. I mean, just a few minor upgrades to it, and you're off-road, man.
It's a pretty solid truck. I like it.
Said it's done nothing but impress me.
Well, Brian, I appreciate you letting me film your wife's truck. I appreciate it. This is really cool.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on inside this truck that I didn't even realize. So
Yeah, there's more than just Toyotas and Jeeps out there.
yeah, there's also them Fords. Ford makes a good product.
There you go. I'm just I'm disappointed Lisa couldn't make it out here to show her own truck, since she's actually getting ready for work. So she wasn't able to come out and do it herself. So I hope I did her and the Ranger justice. So
I think you did.
Yeah.
I think the video is going to turn out good. It's going to be good. So,
Yeah. So
again, I appreciate it.
right on, brother.
Take it easy.
Thanks.
Like I said, I'll leave a description down below to his channel, which is,
Random Adventures.
and take a look at that. He's got the build on this plus a bunch of other stuff on there. You guys are going to want to check it out.
Check it out.
Till next time, this is the My Venture channel. You guys take care, and we will see you on the next video.